3 years. And while you are, okay, what level are you now? Final year? 300 level. All right, so Kabash is in 300 level. He's studying biochemistry, but he takes care of his food and his drink. But in the university of those days, they will give you drink, and they will give you food. And your learning will be for what? For 3 years. At the end of the 3 years, the king is not just a king, he's also the chancellor of the university. You will come and stand before him and he will examine you. You are not following? But, all right, so let us start with, since I don't understand the language of the Chaldeans, I would have started there by teaching you people 2-letter words, the alphabet, but I don't know it. But I know the king's meat, so I will start from there. This is the second investment that Babylon will make on your life, so that you can have the capacity to download your content, your potential, and use it to build their system. You get that? All right, so let us explore the Bible and find out what exactly is the king's meat. The king's meat. Can we go to Matthew chapter 16 quickly? Matthew 16. Now give me Matthew 16 verse 5. A scenario found expression that I need to draw attention to quickly, because Jesus was misunderstood, and because of that he decided to step down his communication from the high mode of communication he normally uses in order for the misunderstanding to clear out. And when his disciples were come to the other side, they had forgotten to take bread. Then Jesus said unto them, take heed and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And they reasoned among themselves, saying, it is because we have taken no bread. See, there was a misunderstanding. Jesus normally communicates at a very high level. You will need to meditate on his utterances. Then wisdom will begin to distill it into your heart like rain. But because of the sharp misunderstanding, Jesus had to break the communication down, so that, because that day misunderstanding was not going to be allowed. So they reasoned among themselves, saying, it is because we have taken no bread. Which when Jesus perceived, because nobody told him, he just perceived it. He said unto them, O ye of little faith, why reason ye among yourselves, because ye have brought no bread? We are still talking about the king's meat. So Jesus is saying that the subject that I'm raising before you has nothing to do with meat. What is it about? Do ye not yet understand, neither remember the 5 loaves of the 5,000 and how many baskets you took up? Neither the 7 loaves of the 4,000 and how many baskets you took up? That means I can decide to do a miracle and we'll have bread now. So the emphasis is not about whether you came with bread or not. But I'm trying to teach you something quickly. And how is it that you do not understand that I speak it not to you concerning bread, that ye should beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the Sadducees? Next verse. This now the understanding came to them. Then they now And there, then understood there how he bade them not, beware of the leaven of bread, but of the doctrine of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. So, when we talk about meat, we're actually referring to doctrine. So the first thing that Nebuchadnezzar does when he welcomes you into his kingdom, and this is kingdom, the aspect of his kingdom he welcomes you into is the educational aspect. He's hoping to give you meat. He's hoping to feed you with his own doctrine, his own philosophy. And the moment he succeeds in feeding you with a philosophy that is contrary to the philosophy you came with, your life, no matter how endowed you are, becomes a platform to adorn Babylon. As long as there's a switch in your doctrine, a switch in your value system, a switch in your ideals, you become a candidate that is adorning Babylon with your endowment. If you have followed my teaching online, you would have realized that I'm an unapologetic preacher of blazing holiness. You can't. I don't only like righteousness, I hate wickedness with passion. Most of you like righteousness, but your score with wickedness has not been settled. So you can still commit an abortion. Even though you like righteousness, you can accommodate a little. Yeah. So you must have realized that. So a pastor called me and said, hey, where are you going with this your holiness thing? That in one of our cities in Nigeria, okay? And that's the city that holds the largest number of pastors. He said 8 out of 10 pastors in this city have side chicks. So I don't know where you're going with this, your holiness. Are you going into the past or into the future? That is the voice of a man that Nebuchadnezzar has changed his doctrine. One of the indicators that your doctrine has changed is that your life is no longer based on the Bible. It's based on the relativism of your sociology. So you now view yourself and say, well, I'm not among the bad people. I just have 2 guys, 2 boys that I'm servicing. The real bad people, you have already accepted a doctrine from Nebuchadnezzar. That's why your value system has shifted. And the Bible is no longer your reference point. You have imbibed, you have eaten from his table. And Jesus said, I was not talking about bread. Are you guys ignorant of what happened when I prayed on bread and we fed 5,000 and how many baskets you picked up? He said, just in case you forgot that, have you also forgotten when I had 7 loaves of bread and I prayed on them and we fed 4,000? And how many baskets you picked up? The baskets you picked up was much more than what we started with. So the issue is not about bread, but the issue is about the philosophy of the Pharisees. You see, in this school, are you there? In this school that these guys are, these Jewish boys, these guys from Judah are coming to enroll. The values they had from home will not survive there. There are meticulous ways in which you will give up your convictions and accept the principles that govern the education and the educational system. Right? Brilliant ways. And you realize that, they make it look like a thing of honor because it is from the king's table that they will feed you. not from a booker, not from the backyard. The quality will be the same quality that the king uses. So when you come into the place, it looks like an elevation, looks like a promotion. But men like Daniel held on to the customs that they learned from their village. They entered into this place. And you need to know that these boys, these Judah boys, they were like, this is Central Region. Can you give me the name of some of the remotest places? These Judah boys were from those kind of places. They were from villages. But there was something about them they will not give up. It's their conviction. It doesn't matter the civilization. They don't take the shape of the civilization. They shape it themselves because of their conviction. You are not with me. So because I have been so loud on the issue of holiness and personal discipline and all of that, there are ministers of the gospel that hate me with passion. Yeah. The moment you have eaten from Nebuchadnezzar's table, you won't like people like us. People that are village boys like us that still hold on to the traditions we learned from the village. You won't like. So there's a conflict. And I need to show you two sides of the pole so that, there's no time. So that you will find out where you stand. I'm not trying to preach a message to you. I'm trying to show you a map so that you can identify your longitude and latitude on that map. Your location. How you have migrated. Whether you are a product or victim of relativism, trying to compare yourself with people and then to assure yourself that your life is still reasonable. Unknown to you, you have departed from the stand of the scriptures because you eat the king's meat, but it's not plenty. You eat small. So you think you can still keep your weight, maintain your outlook. The moment you start eating it, you have migrated. And many of you sitting here have migrated. You came from homes, very staunch Christian homes, and you were released like arrows into the world. So that the proof of what you have gathered under the tutelage of parents and the churches that you attended will be tested in Babylon. You know, while I was on campus, I was very rugged. I was a radical Christian. That is not normal. You know, the crazy. That was how I was. You can't even discuss sin with me. I come into the common room, people smoking will stop smoking till I leave. Because I was radical. I was so radical that cultists were afraid of me. Cultists with weapons. That was how I was. So I don't know whether they wanted to set me up or something. One of those days, my dormitory door, you know, you can't stay alone. 4 people in one room. So I was staying with the gangsters. And I like that. So we agreed that we can't be locking our door. The door has to be open. That one of them said they can't keep keys. So the way we'll do it is leave the door. And those guys were so rugged that you can't even steal from that. They were. And I was also a radical. Do you know that as rugged as those guys were, we used to pray in that room? We'll pray first in the morning and call on the name of Jesus. That's the only way there will be peace now. We have to agree. They can go out and be gangsters, but in the morning, Jesus. Jesus. Say Jesus. Say Jesus. Everything in your environment is determined to make you begin to accept a new doctrine. And some of you have already swayed. You're already floating in the philosophy of the realm. So our room had no lock. You just come in and you go out. So you can come in, find someone with ladies. All right? It's okay. They can even greet you and say, oh, well, okay. Your book is there. Your book is there. Yeah, so I used to stay all night reading and praying because my room is a brothel. And I was like that for one session. Because I did not want to eat of the portion of what? Of the king's meat. One of those days I was in the room trying to get my stuff, and a lady just came and removed her clothing. I think she forgot who I was because she came with a doctrine, a strong doctrine. The king had added pepper to his chicken. His pepper chicken that the king was offering that day. I preached the gospel to that lady. And somewhere in the process, she had to take